Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for October 27th. Trying to get my components arranged here. All righty. All right. Okay. A little more light, maybe. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for October 27th. October 27th is the 300th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 301st in leap years, with 65 days remaining to the end of the year. Oh my goodness, I failed to get a word. So we're going to just move right on past that, and if it's not too awkward, maybe I could come back with one in a few minutes. But that research is timely and awkward, so I don't know about that. We'll see. Anyway, I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. I ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Oh no, we don't have outtakes when we're live, so never mind that part. Remember that you could share this video with a link in your email messaging or social media. And there is a link in the show notes to my This Day in History playlist. And then I'll also put a link in the iCards after the video, after the live ends and the video renders. I haven't got the synopsis for the video in the show notes for the live portion, but I'll get that added as well, because that's part of the deal, man. Anyway, one of us was feeling a little under the weather, and as you could tell by my casual attire, and the evening just kind of got away from me. I was shocked to learn that it was after midnight already. So anyway, we're getting on a little bit late, but we're getting on. So there you go. And with that, we're going to start on October 27th in the year 312, which is the date that Constantine is said to have received his famous vision of the cross. There are at least a couple of versions of the event, but the gist of it seems to be that he and his men were getting ready for battle, and he, Constantine, looked up to the sun and saw a cross of light above it, along with a message that said something to the effect of, "Through this sign you shall conquer." He wondered about that, and then that night he had a dream in which Christ explained to him that he should use this sign against his enemies. It is my understanding that the symbol that Constantine used was the Chi-Rho sign, which looks like a capital P with an X on it, where the vertical stroke of the P intersects with the X. On October 27th, 1275, that is considered to be the founding date of the city of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Philadelphia was founded in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on October 27, 1682. Back in August of 1775, King George III had issued a declaration that elements of the American colonies were in a state of open and avowed rebellion, and ordered officials of the empire to do whatever they could to suppress this rebellion. This would, of course, be in the days of the American Revolution. That said, on October 27, 1775, King George III expanded his proclamation of rebellion in the 13 colonies in a speech from the throne at the opening of Parliament. The United States annexed the former Spanish colony of West Florida on October 27, 1810. The area known then as West Florida was a significant area that extended west from the present-day Florida Panhandle across the states, across portions of the present-day states of Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. On October 27, 1838, Missouri Governor Lilburn Boggs issued Missouri Executive Order 44, also known as the Mormon Extermination Order, which ordered all Mormons to leave the state or be killed. Rough days. This is the birthday of 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, born October 27, 1958. He lived to the age of 60. The first underground New York City subway line opened on October 27, 1904. That's the present-day IRT Broadway 7th Avenue line, she said, as if she knew what that meant. I have been to New York and ridden the subways and talked to people who felt that the mapping system and the lines were so easy to understand. Who could not understand that? I'm glad that I always had a guide to help me get me where I needed to go, because I had a hard time making sense of that subway system. But the first one opened today in 1904. Rhodesia rejected the country's annexation to the South African Union on October 27, 1922. Mrs. Wallis Simpson obtained her divorce on October 27, 1936, which eventually allowed her to marry King Edward VIII of the United Kingdom, ultimately forcing his abdication from the throne. And I found this to be very interesting. Just a couple days ago, we heard that Benjamin O. Davis Sr. was named the first African-American general in the United States Army. So today, when I came across an item with the name of Benjamin O. Davis becoming the first African-American general in the United States Air Force, I was confused. I thought, oh no, did I get that mixed up? What? No, it's not mixed up at all. It is that the first one, Benjamin O. Davis Sr., was named the first African-American general in the United States Army. And on this day, his son, Benjamin O. Davis Jr., followed in Dad's footsteps, becoming the first African-American general in the United States Air Force. On October 27, 1964, Ronald Reagan delivered a speech on behalf of the Republican candidate for president, Barry Goldwater. That speech launched Reagan's political career and came to be known as a time for choosing. Speaking for Goldwater, Reagan stressed his belief in the importance of smaller government and said the founding fathers knew a government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they knew when a government sets out to do that, it must force and use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. So we have come to a time for choosing, he said. He also said, you and I are told we must choose between a left or a right, but I suggest there's no such thing as a left or a right. There's only up or down. Up to man's age-old dream, the maximum of individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. I found this very interesting. I was but a child in 1964, so I certainly don't remember that speech, but it seems to still be timely. And I did find it on YouTube, and it's linked in the show notes for you. Ronald Reagan's A Time for Choosing speech. The entire speech is just shy of 30 minutes, but the quotes are in there. Anyway, next item, Turkmenistan achieved independence from the Soviet Union on October 27, 1991. On October 27, 2004, oh my gosh, I do remember this. Ooh, the Boston Red Sox defeated the St. Louis Cardinals to win their first World Series in 86 years. Yeah. That was pretty big. I lived in Cooperstown for that one. That was quite something. Yep. And I think that's going to do it for us today. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. I always do. As always, again, links to my research are included in the show notes, as is the Day in History playlist, which will also be linked up there in the iCards as soon as the live video finishes rendering and allows me to do that. And I guess that's about it. We'll close that script. We're at 10 minutes and change. So thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I was a few minutes late getting up live here. I'm enjoying some hot broth, nice salty broth. My daughter sent this to me for Mother's Day. Home is where my mom is. Yeah. Nice salty broth. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. And I guess that's about it. Now we'll see if we can find that thank you very much button, which always asks me, do I really mean it? Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.